All right, I'd like to call the Richmond Park and Recreation Board to order. First up, we have the election of officers. So with that, let's start with the office of president. Is there any nominations for president?
Nominate Tiana Washington to serve as president.
A second.
Other nominations? Other nominations? Other nominations? T. Washington has been thrown in as the nomination for president. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Guess I'm president again. Thanks, y'all. Office of vice president. I'll take nomination at this time. I nominate Dakota Collins.
It's felt vindictive.
It is a little bit.
Second.
And there's been a second. Is there other names for vice president? Other nominations? Other nominations? Good returns. Other nominations? Dakota Collins is the name thrown in for vice president. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations, VP.
Thanks.
Now we have the office for secretary. Is there a nomination?
You guys want to draw straws?
Rock,
How
paper,
about
scissors.
That's fun.
Okay. I nominate Mike.
The nomination of Mike Foley for secretary has been,
Second.
and now it's been seconded. Other nominations for secretary? Other nominations? Other nominations? Okay. All in favor of nominating Mike Foley for secretary, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Congrats, secretary.
Thanks, President.
With that, I'll move on to the mission statement. The Richmond Parks and Recreation Department provides for the positive development and well-being of the Richmond community through the provision of parks, greenways, trails, and recreational programming and facilities while working in cooperation with other service providers and partners in the community to maximize all available resources. Denise, do we have any special guests today?
That's me.
Okay. Then move on to the approval of minutes. Folks had a chance to look at the minutes from December 14th. If so, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the December 14 minutes. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. On to the administration report. Denise.
Yeah, I just provided a end of the year kind of recap. It was in a folder for you, some pictures, and this is just kind of just a small taste of some of the things that we've been doing all year. Everybody's been working so hard, and we ended the year, safe and healthy, and so just appreciate everybody's work and everything that they did. Some park updates I did want to draw your attention to before we bring Brandon up here, our trail and service leader, who will take the majority of my report, because I do think it's important that you get an update on our trails, and so he is who I wanted to guide you through kind of our updates and our trails. Just wanted to kind of highlight on our park updates. Laura Carnes kind of put this together, and I thought it was a great information sheet. The IU Environmental Resilience Cohort, we have been selected as participants, and that is a very exciting thing that'll happen in 2024. These are some of the things and the phases that will happen during that cohort. We also talked a little bit about the Whitewater Gorge activation plan, obviously with Earlham, and I have some information down below under some of your delegations and correspondence about Revitalize Richmond so that you can learn a little bit more about that. But that is very exciting to be a part of that. And then, of course, Brandon has mapped these trails, and you'll hear a little bit more about that. They're growing over 15,000 plants right now in the greenhouse, so it's already started. Laura Carnes has, I don't know if you were able to follow our Facebook page or our newsletter, but we did announce that Laura has obtained her ISA Arborist certification, which is phenomenal for our department to have another arborist on staff now that we had lost our other one. So we're very excited about that. We also applied for $180,000 from the State Inflation Reduction Act through the IDNR. And so that is something that we partnered with the Street Commission and the Street Department on, and Infrastructure and Development. So we partnered together and worked with our grant writer here in the city to get that grant moving. And also Allison Zida also helped with us in working through that grant. So just want to thank everybody involved in that. The Rose Garden Restoration Project over at the E.G. Hill side of the Rose Garden, we are very excited about that quality of place project that we'll be working on. More information on that to come, but we'll be working with that with the HELP initiative and the ARPA dollars there. And then we have been chosen to work with 2 environmental sustainability seniors for their capstone project. And as you know, we have done this before, worked with some capstone projects, and so this will be our 3rd, and so it's very exciting. We'll be working with Cal and Luke in the environmental sustainability program, and we'll be doing some starts of a sustainability plan for our Parks Department. So they'll be taking a little bites off of that as we can, and kind of meshing in some of our climate action plan for the city and some of all of our other plans, and kind of making them into a sustainability plan for the city, and kind of some of the efforts that we do as a department and highlighting those into a plan. And then they're also going to be working on helping with some GIS work as well. So it's pretty exciting, but it's going to take a little while to create a plan like this. It's a very large plan, so we're going to kind of bite off a little at a time. So we just wanted to highlight some of those things that are going on because they're all positive, and we're really excited about that. Any questions? Okay. Brandon, I would love for you to show them all your amazing work you've been working on. I've been wanting this to happen for years, so the fact that we have this now and that he was taking this time to work on this is amazing. So not only you can see did he map out the trails, but he also, you see a brochure attached to every trail. So I'll let him kind of talk through this. But.
Yeah, it's been a very busy 2 years, and this past year, kind of just with the help of Gunty over in the county GIS office and Thomas Hill now in the city building GIS office, those 2 have really helped me get through making the maps fairly efficiently. These are just kind of overall rough drafts of the pamphlets and the map. There's still a couple of tweaks here and there, but this is to give you guys an idea of generally what everything's going to look like. So overall, I have either adjusted or built 6 trails. And let's see here. So you have 5 different pamphlets. Springwood is also tied in with Thistleway. If you're not familiar with it, Thistleway is literally right across the street. So I just combined those 2 into one single pamphlet, but online will have their own maps, posted up. So everyone can either download or print out a copy of the map themselves, and then they can bring it with them. Each primitive trail, so basically not paved, just dirt, those are all given a difficulty rating. So as you can see on some of the maps, they're labeled from easy to moderate to intermediate. The thing I'm probably most proud of in the past 2 years, and this was the biggest struggle for me, and actually luckily for me, I have it right in front of me, is the trail over at Middle Fork. This is our first and only intermediate level difficulty trail. This is not something that you can just go for a casual hike on. It's something that you should be a little bit more prepared. And I am very, very excited to have that. Took a little while. It is a 1.5 miles long. You have a whole view of the lake. It's probably my proudest achievement here. I think overall between the paved trails and the unpaved trails, we have about 8 miles worth of hiking that you can do around here. A little bit more than a day's worth for most people. And then, so kind of in chronological order from when I got here, I started off in Springwood and Thistleway, built a few more trails in Springwood.
Connected to the Cardinal Greenway.
Yeah, connected. So there's the one trail that's called Beechwood Ridge. So if you go to the Springwood pamphlet or the map, you'll see Beechwood Ridge. That's one that I built from scratch by hand that brings you into the uphill portion of Springwood, and that will connect you to the Cardinal Greenway, and you can actually loop back around in there. And then after I was done with that, I also went over to Thistlewaite, where some of the trail was right next to the edge of the river, kind of risking some erosion problems, so I diverted it more inland. So it's still a pretty straight line, half mile in, half mile out. And so got those two done. Then the summer that I got here, I built the Chautauqua Trail that's right behind the office here. It's a little half mile loop, really nice, really worth going to, especially in the spring. Named it the Chautauqua Trail after the Chautauqua Festival that used to come through this area back in the day. And then the most recent one, as I mentioned, is the Middle Fork Trail that took up the entire spring and summer of this last year. And definitely a lot of heavy duty work. When you go through it, which I hope you will do soon, it's more than it. As you can see from the pamphlet, it's still worth going in the winter. That picture is something that I took just before Christmas. I mean, even in winter, it still has lots of beautiful views. And you can see all the hard work and heavy labor that went into it between myself and the rest of the floral division team. If it wasn't for them, it probably still wouldn't be done. Any questions on anything so far?
No, this is really amazing. Great work.
Yeah, and I really do hope that you take some at some point this winter, if not early in the spring, once all the flowers start blooming, to go and go through all of our trails. Like I said, these maps only need a little bit more tweaking, so before the end of February, everything should be nice and finalized, and that way we can start giving it out to the public and posting it online and putting it up in the Bureau of Tourism, and pretty much anything that you can imagine. Hopefully, we'll have it all.
Any questions or comments?
Great work.
Do you want me to mention OWL?
Yeah, the OWL program that we got funded for, absolutely.
So the other, aside from trails and volunteers, I went to school for wildlife and conservation. So I still try to throw that in here and there when I get the chance. And so so far, both years that I've been here, I've gotten grants for the Audubon Society. My first year I did owls, and we got funds from the Indiana Audubon Society to put up owl boxes for barred owls, screech owls, and nests for great horned owls. This year, which I'm really happy went very quickly, went very smoothly, I got a grant for barn owl boxes. Just about 40 minutes south of us, or southwest of us in Fayette County, there is one of only 50 confirmed barn owl nests in the whole state. Figured they're that close, why couldn't they be here? So I applied for the grant. Indiana Audubon Society gave us a partial grant, then Carter Lumber gave us the rest of the material. They donated the rest of the material. And then Mr. Kendig's construction technologies course built them. So I got the first 11, and I contacted the first set of soon-to-be owners, and they're at the farmer's market this weekend. So if you get a chance to go to the farmer's market, you'll have a chance to check them out. Once those are gone, I'll be waiting for Mr. Kendig's class to finish up the next batch and kind of a rinse and repeat thing. So overall, we're handing out 30 barn owl boxes that will be around the pretty much immediate area. So, yeah. Cool. So I'm very excited about that, and it's gonna, with anything with wildlife, it's gonna be kind of a wait and kind of a gamble. So I'm hoping that one out of the 30 might see a barn owl within the next year or so. Hopefully more than that after that.
Well, we appreciate all your hard work, Brandon. I know that you work tirelessly on all the trails and all native wildlife and everything that you do to help us in our parks. So thank you so much.
Yep.
And as a reminder, Brandon's salary is a donated salary. And so we're thankful for that anonymous donor who contributes to his salary every year. And it's a great opportunity to be able to have a wonderful trail and service leader opportunity like this. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll hand this to you as well.
Thank you. Great job, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
If there's nothing else, then we'll move on to the budget reports, financials. Is there anything to report?
Is there any questions?
Anybody have questions on financials?
It was mostly just get ready for the end of the year and kind of make sure everything was in there, because there's nothing that stands out too much, so.
Hopefully, we'll have an end of the year next.
We should, yeah, next month will be the end of the year, staggered, should all be in there.
Is there anybody else that's here that wants to do a report or anything?
I would like, Becky, if it's okay, to kind of talk through the Master Gardeners class. You're like, I knew she was gonna say something.
So close. So close. Well,
So this is an exciting, new program that she kind of talked and alluded to last month,
yeah,
but it happened just yesterday, and so it was so successful.
it was really successful. I mean, honestly, we only had 7 sign up at first on our sheet, so the Master Gardeners and I said, well, we'll get 12, I'll pull people in. And then we said, well, let's reach for 15. We had 30 people just zoom in, and they were everywhere. I mean, we set up for 15 in hopes and 30 came, and one of the really great things was as people left, they were still talking about the conversations that the Masters Gardeners presented, and they were taking it further. Well, what if we did this? Or I was like, you can tell that's successful because they brought the information with them. Everybody participated. There was not a single person who sat there and said, how soon we're out. They didn't even go for the snacks until the end. Nobody even touched that. So, I mean, it was, they asked good questions. They had door prizes. People are already planning, and we're going to have to plan for like 45 people for our next event, which is February 14th, because today people were talking about, did you go yesterday? No, I didn't. I was at yoga. I should have gone. And then, so we're going to have a whole bunch more people. And I'm very excited. I wrote Mr. Ferris, or I was a professor, but anyway, their teacher, a note this morning, and I said, I hope you allow these Master Gardeners to blueprint what they're doing now, because what they're bringing to us it would be great to continue forever, but it should go to other organizations, because there was just so much, like the Boys and Girls Club would benefit in a whole different level from what we got. We know how to kill every gnat on a plant, so if you have any questions ever, you have gnats in your house, come ask us. We even have a gnat kit. I mean, it was huge. Yeah,
And,
probably.
and Laura joined as well, so
Oh,
that
yes.
she can make sure if there's any type of partnerships there or anything that we can do to help her.
It was nice Laura joined, because it highlighted the park too, and all of the things that are happening here, and volunteers. People were interested. They're like, well, what if we go to the greenhouse? You're having an open house there, and to save my life, I remember the time, but I think it's Friday, but people want to be able to volunteer. So she was able to highlight the park and the things we're doing there, and that's nice in return. And with her new arborist credentialing, everybody got to see that. I mean, it was really, it was probably one of the biggest events outside of our celebration for 50 years. And it actually probably was even bigger because of the draw of people there. And it was attended by all different ages. It was really interesting to see from 50 to 87. So, kind of cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I will say one thing, is I'm dashing out there. We closed the year with 100 new members.
There was 10 more?
Yes, on
Oh,
December 29th,
10 more joined?
we had 100 exactly when we closed. So we had a whole bunch. And we started the year well. I think we have 12 just already, new ones and lots of things. So and part of that came from this project that happened, because people were like, oh, and then they've heard about it. And so it's a very good feeder program for us. So
And
it's
then
exciting.
February 1st.
February, is that the
Is
other
that-
house? No, February 14th, we're doing our next one, and it's because they wanted to do something for Valentine's Day. So people are supposed to bring their, like a teacup or a bowl or something that just takes up space in your house, and we're gonna learn to plant our own succulents. and grow those, so.
But
it's
when did you say that it's gonna go up to 25, February 1st?
It goes February 1st,
February
our
1st.
membership does go up to 25. And, to be honest, we've had a few eyebrows, but nobody refused it, so that's a good thing, yeah. So I'm excited, and thank you, and congratulations, wherever Brandon, he left too, Brandon, that's very cool to hear. I didn't hardly wait to put that on as our little tourist thing going from the center, so.
The greenhouse tours on the 1st of
The
February.
first, I knew it was like, okay, February there, and in the morning, and we have a whole group that wants to go, so.
Oh, okay, so she's gonna do that plus the
Yeah.
Rose Garden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
Figure that one out.
Thank you. If there's nothing else for divisions, we'll move on to board concerns and comments. Delegation correspondence.
I just wanted to highlight that it's that time of year again where we are looking at our 2024 goals. We'll be doing a goal retreat on February 9th for the staff, which we do every year, just to kind of gather everybody together, what worked well in 2023, what do we need to improve on, and getting the divisions together, and then of course, what are some of our goals coming into 2024? Did we hit those in 2023? What were our goals and did we hit those? What do we need to do our job better? Things like that. Those are some of those things. So I just wanted to make sure that the park board also feels a part of that. So if you have any goals for the park, department as a whole in 2024, be thinking about that, because I'll be sending out probably either a Google form or something along those lines. And so I just wanted you to kind of start thinking about that. The other thing would be the Farmers Market Strategic Plan. That will be revealed. Here's an invite for you. And that will be the 8th of February. That will be at the Charles House. And we will be doing is it the Charles House?
It wasn't.
And it wasn't decided yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So we're trying to figure out that, so tentatively Charles House.
It's the Don's Cabin.
Okay, so Don's Cabin.
That sounds serious.
That's what it is.
That does not sound right.
Okay, so I think it's a Don's Cabin. I think she
Don's
decided
Cabin.
Don's Cabin. So basically what's gonna happen for the strategic plan, so the consultants are gonna come in, they're gonna talk through the farmer's market plan and highlight that, we'll pass them out. All the vendors are invited, park board's invited, redevelopment commission will be invited, and then any council members will be invited. We'll go ahead and throw out a special meeting request if you guys all want to attend, just to make sure, if there is quorum there, that it'd be all good. So, and there will be light orders. So, just as a heads up. And then I did add the link here for Revitalize Richmond, so you guys can, most of you know a lot about it, but it is very exciting. There are a lot of collaboration. Dakota could probably tell you a ton more than me, and you might want to say a few words, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So just for anybody watching that might not be fully aware, Revitalize Richmond is a program that Earlham received funding for to help with downtown community development. And we worked for several months with a lot of community partners, including Denise and members of the city administration, to develop a really robust plan to help sort of reactivate downtown and introduce some real vitality to the area. We're defining downtown for this project as the Gorge through 13th Street down Main and from A to A. And the reason that those dimensions exist is because we wanted to include the Gorge Activation Plan in this project. So through Earlham's funding, we will be giving some sub-grants to organizations like the Parks Department, specifically in this case for the Gorge Activation Plan. So thanks to the Parks Department and to Earlham, we'll be being able to introduce kayaking and canoeing and ziplining and a river walk and a lot of other enhancements to the area over the next several years, which we're all really excited about. And from Earlham's perspective, I just want to say thank you to Denise and the Parks Department for being involved in that process and allowing us to help out.
We are so excited that Earlham championed a grant like this. So some of the partners are coming in and we're doing some quick talks on just so they can do some video and stuff like that. And one of the things I alluded to in my video was the fact that these kinds of grants do not come along, okay? They just don't. So to be able to have a $25 million grant available to Earlham, and for Earlham to share that out and to make this such an impactful option is just, it's amazing opportunity for everyone involved. And the collaboration that went into it is also, it's just an amazing thing to see. How many people were involved and how much can actually be done with this, and how much money is going to be leveraged. And that gets me to my next point, where we are working to leverage that $2.5 million that Earlham so graciously has been able to set aside for the gorge. And so our next step will be working with the consultants that have been so engaged in our gorge plan. Our next step is to apply for a Outdoor Legacy Partnership grant. And that Outdoor Legacy Partnership grant is up to $15 million. And so while that is from the National Park Service, it's a huge national grant, and we're going to try to take a stab at it. We were successful in our Land and Water Conservation Fund grant, where we got the $500,000, which is great. So we're going to go a step further because they recommended that we do so. So DNR and National Park Service think this is a great opportunity for us to go a step further in the Outdoor Legacy Partnership grant. So the consultants are working on a submission for us on this particular grant. So we've asked them to kind of create a proposal for us to write this grant. I've received a proposal in my hands to write the grant for us because it is very lengthy and very tedious. And they have all the information they need to write it. And so I'll be coming to the board next month with that grant proposal and contract to start that grant process. It's a very quick turnaround. We'll need to get something to the DNR by the end of March. So that's exactly why they need to be the ones moving this along, and I'll be working with them through the process. But we can only match any dollars that are not federally funded, so we can only match the 2.5. And so thank goodness we have that 2.5, or we wouldn't be qualified for this grant. So any dollars that we have set aside that are not federal dollars, we'll be looking to match. So I think we'll be able to match potentially $3 million. And so it's a 1-to-1 match. So that's what we're looking to do. So I just wanted to make sure that the board was understanding of kind of the next step in that process with the Revitalize Richmond funds, because if we can leverage that money, that's the best way to go forward so we can continue phase 3. There's 5 parts to phase 3, and we're working through that. So we're also working with the consultants on what does that look like between phase 2 and phase 3 and coordinating that together. It's better to do all the design and the engineering and the conceptuals together at once. It saves us a lot of money. And so we're working through that process of what needs to be designed and done all at once now that we have this funding. So they're the experts on that, and then we might start bidding out certain things at once. When those things come along, we have those fundings in our hands. So we're still waiting on phase 1 though. That is the National Park Service. They're kind of the hold up there. As soon as their approval comes through, we'll be moving on phase 1 too. But that all has to be separate due to the National Park Service. And phase 2 and phase 3 can start moving. Phase 2, I know this is a lot of information and I'll break it down for you a little bit more in February. But phase 2 actually has to be done, designed and completed by 2025. So that is really kind of our push is phase 2. Okay? And those are the help dollars. Any questions on Revitalize Richmond or the gorge? I know it's a lot of information. A lot of it's going to come to you in kind of a project calendar soon, just so you guys can see it, and ask some questions. But just wanted you to have information on kind of the strategic plan that's happening and going to be revealed, and then a lot of stuff about Revitalize Richmond in case you're asked, or the gorge projects coming through. But you can always call me if you get questions, and I can help you through those questions as best as possible.
Any questions or comments? If not, we'll go into old business, there's none, so move on to new business. First up is the approval of resolution 1-2024, authorizing the president of the board to execute certain contracts on behalf of the board.
This is a housekeeping item. A, B, and D through F are really housekeeping items and first of the year kind of things. And this is authorizing President Washington to be able to go ahead and execute the contracts that are above $5,000 on behalf of the board, so she can sign away for those.
Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the resolution 1-2024, authorizing the president of the board to execute certain contracts on behalf of the park board. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, approval of resolution 2-2024, authorizing the park superintendent to execute certain contracts on behalf of the board.
So this would be the resolution stating that the park superintendent can execute any contracts below $5,000 on behalf of the board.
Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve resolution 2-2024, authorizing park superintendent to execute certain contracts on behalf of the board. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of purchase agreement 220-2023 to Spear Corporation to purchase chemicals for pool and splash pads.
So when we purchase all of our chemicals at bulk, we get a discounted price. Well, this is over $25,000, which is the threshold for needing a contract. The purchase is $44,841.75 for our pool and splash pads needs for 2024. Hoping that this will be all we need.
And again, to me, because prices, everything's going up, and that's why we need this increase.
Well, we're getting it all in bulk, and so it's not necessarily increases for the payment of all of the chemicals for next year.
Questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
It's been moved, is there a second? It's been moved and second to approve the purchase agreement 220-2023 to Spear Corporation to purchase chemicals for pool and splash pad. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of the earn requests.
And I didn't attach or link an earn request here because we don't have the ordinance just yet. And normally I just do a memo with the information to council. These three are what I normally take to council: the earn request, the grants blanket, and the donation blanket. But I like to bring it to park board first, just because I feel like it's important, especially the earn request, because the earn request is stating that if there is someone eligible for earn in the state of Indiana as an intern or as an employee, that we are eligible to match a portion of the state's funding to be able to have them here as an employee. So say we have an intern or someone who works for JUCO, or maybe even potentially someone who works as a lifeguard. If they are earn eligible, then the state will potentially pay for a portion of their funds. So I like to come to park board because, a portion, it saves us a lot of money, but it also is an obligation of our budget to be able to have earn eligible people. And so it's a great opportunity for us to be a part of earn, but we still have to request it to council to be able to be a part of it because of the match.
Questions, comments? If not, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the earn request.
Is there a second? It's been moved. It's been moved and second. All in favor of approval of the earn request, please say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of grants blanket.
So every year we go to council and we have a pretty hefty grants blanket of grants that we would like to see potentially as an option if it fits within our scope of something we want to apply for. And these do not require monetary matches. They might require an in-kind match or potentially a labor match of some sort, but these are not monetary matches. And we go before council and we say, here are a certain amount of grants that we'd like to apply for in 2024. It's a fluid document for the year in terms that we do add throughout the year for the next request. So these are the only ones that we'll be applying for 2024. If there's anything outside of that, we would have to go back to council to request. So I just like to come to Park Board and just let you know what's coming to council and make sure that you are also in approval of this before going to council.
All right. Any questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second for the approval of the grants blanket. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of donation blanket.
So the donation chart of accounts, these are grants that we solicit on a regular basis. Each and every year we go to council and ask, are these particular restricted areas an eligible solicitation request? And so I kind of did it a little different. Emma and I did it a little different this year where we put some of the events underneath what typically we solicit for. So you can see like under community sports and recreation, that usually is Get Healthy in the Parks, the Walking Club, the Industrial League, things like that. That falls into that bucket. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like outdoor movie series. But like dog park, the treat find, bark and wine events, if we need doggy pot bags that come out of there, little things like that. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like repair and improvement fund. But these are all the things that when we solicit funds, this is where they go in the donation accounts. These are non-reverting, so they continue to roll year after year. And so this is what we would request to solicit for in 2024.
All right. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second for the approval of donation blanket. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Is there any other business for today?
Not, Chris, did you have anything?
No, just here if there were questions.
Oh,
I just wanted to make sure
Because
that
if not, our next meeting is February 8th, and I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
It's been moved. Second, all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.